Hey, morning everyone. Welcome to the briefing on Friday the 16th of September. Certainly a bit chilly out there. First thing this morning, got down to about 5 or 6 degrees. It's the real shock to the system. This shows that autumn is sort of lurking around the corner. It's been driven by this sort of cold northerly wind that you can see coming down from a long way over here, almost up in the Arctic, all the way down across here. Isobars sort of tightly spaced in the north of England, but a little bit lighter winds down over us, but still reasonably breezy at flying heights. And there's an awful lot of instability coming down across here, lots and lots of showers here at the moment. And I think with the level of instability, there's certainly the further east you go, the bigger risk there is of showers by the looks of it. And that sort of high pressure doesn't really move very far, certainly in the next 24 hours, slowly coming down over us, winds getting lighter, things getting a little bit more stabilized. So Saturday and Sunday looking quite nice. Quite a lot of the eastern side of a high can be quite cloudy, and I think that's going to be the case this weekend. TAFs quickly, not really updated. 310, 6 knots. Yeah, currently the Lasham weather stations showing between sort of 6 and 10 knots, northwesterly, and scattered at 4.5. Yeah, I think cloud base will get to that, if not even a bit higher than that. And they're showing it's now a prob 30. Okay, so a risk of showers. I looked at the BBC forecast this morning. Further west, virtually no risk of showers. East of us, yeah, over London, definitely the chance of isolated showers from mid-morning onwards, and in other areas around the country, as you'll actually see. So upper winds, as you'd expect, from the northwest, and they're showing 20 knots all the way down through the country. I think that's probably about right, looking at other forecasts I've seen. And the sat pic shows just sort of various mid-level cloud just sort of trapped under an inversion, but there's a line of cloud down through the Cheshire Gap here, and that's actually got rain on it, which is fizzling out a little bit, but it almost looks like a mini sort of trough line, really, running down through here. And you can see there were a few showers just tucked in there under that cloud, but they're all fizzling out. What we're going to watch really is what this stuff does across here, whether it starts to sort of come further towards us. Certainly the BBC was suggesting London and East Anglia would have showers this afternoon. Temperature wise, BBC are saying this morning that max temperature about 16 degrees. Yeah, the BBC weather saying the same. Other places are saying 17. So 16, 17 degrees seems about right today. Feel a few degrees colder if you're on the ground with the wind chill. It's currently sort of 3 degrees cooler wind chill at Lasham. Temperature currently is about 10 degrees. Dew points, well, I think they could be down at about 3s and 4s over us. It's certainly showing here 2s and 3s in the middle of the country. So yeah, temperature got down to about 5, 6 degrees last night. So dew point temperature currently is about 8. So it certainly should go down to sort of 3 or 4. So quite a big temperature split today, which should give us a fairly high cloud base. I can see why this initial sounding sort of suggests some risk of showers in here with lots of cumulus vertical development. So by midday, 1 o'clock, cloud base up towards 4,000 feet. And then in the afternoon, it should stabilize out a little bit. You're likely to get a little bit more cloud. 4 to 6 eighths in here, but cloud base. I wouldn't be surprised if you see 5.5, 6 above sea level, some places to the north of us. So fairly high cloud base. And the actual ascent suggests a similar sort of thing, that potentially, if you imagine this line here, as the temperature goes up, the whole thing will move this way. So I think initially there's a risk of spread out, and that as the day goes on, the afternoon goes on, reduces. But this line here, this inversion will go up, will slowly disappear, and you're looking at potential for cloud base at about sort of 16 to 1800 meters in here, maybe a little bit more. So yeah, should be a good afternoon after a little bit of spread out in first thing in the morning, I think. So what are top meteos suggesting? Well, a similar sort of picture, really. Cloud, certainly by 11 o'clock, we'll see cumulus. Should see usual conditions, and then potential for spread out by sort of 12, 1 o'clock around us, better to the north. And then it just dries out in the afternoon. So that's 2, 3 o'clock, still looking good up to the north. And remember, it is sort of heading towards the end of September. So days will be a bit shorter now. I think probably by 5, it'll all be over, 5, 6 o'clock. You're looking at it sort of just petering out. Thermals, initially should be up to about 2.5 above Lasham, towards 3,000 feet by sort of 11, 12 o'clock. They're saying 1,000 meters there, 1,200 meters, so yeah, 3,500 feet. And move it on a couple of hours, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, 1,500, 1,600 meters, so 4,500 feet above sea level, and out over the Oxfordshire area into East Anglia, 2,000 meters, so in excess of 6,000 feet above sea level. So I think we should see that. And a suggested they're showing blue areas in places as well. A suggested cross-country distance. Out to the north should be good for 300 to 400k. Heading north, one snag in that, and you'll see that in a minute when we look at the airspace. But again, it shows fairly fresh northerly winds. Hopefully it'll street, and you can have some good runs along those. Plan the task appropriately. Sky sight suggesting a similar sort of thing by 11:30, 12 o'clock. Thermals going to in excess of 3,000 feet above Lasham, and then move it on till 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and further north 1,500 meters, 1,700 meters, and certainly by 3 o'clock they're showing 1,900 meters here, which is probably going to be about right. They're suggesting cloud bases in the afternoon, fairly high, and thermal strengths 2.5 meters a second, so between sort of 3 and 5 knots. Thermals for the afternoon, so yeah, fairly good. They are showing a sort of spread out probability before 1 o'clock of sort of 50%, and then just reducing after that down to about sort of 10 to 20%. So yeah, spread out first thing, getting better later on. Okay, so yeah, good day. Brisk northerly wind, flying heights, northwesterly on the ground. Certainly could pick up on the ground, I think, sort of 10, 12 knots at times, maybe a little bit more than that. So something to be aware of behind the trees. Okay, so airspace wise, it's the snag. Quick look round what we've got down here. Paragliding at Harting. Goodwood have an air display, but it finishes at 9:30 this morning. Don't know what that is, just a Spitfire. The stuff in the Salisbury Plain danger area, nothing to worry about. They just raise the danger area at Everley up to 9,000 feet till midday. And then they're done with that. And the rest just sort of paragliding up round here. Poddington isn't active, that's tomorrow. And there's nothing particularly further north all the way up to Sireston here of No Town spinning trials. What's the main one? Well, helicopter flight, which is operating here. They don't depict it very well. I'll show you the proper one in here. It's going to be 2 flights. Essentially, the first one, which won't affect anybody, is it going from Prince Charles Place here to Cardiff first thing in the morning. But this one in the afternoon will affect people. So up to 4,000 feet above sea level. And the timings on that are 15:05 to 16:35 local time. No, that's not right. What area is that? That's area A. Sorry about that. 14:05 UTC to 15:35. So that's 15:05 to 16:35 local time for area A. And as I say, it's surface to 4,000 feet. Fingers crossed if you've gone to the north, that's in place with a 6,000 foot cloud base potentially this afternoon. You should just be able to glide across it. And it's 5 nautical miles wide by the looks of that. That's an arc at the end of it. Here, so essentially it's cutting across where the Compton VOR is there in that area, and then back into Lasham. So fingers crossed you should be able to go across there, providing the airspace doesn't get in the way above you. But it is a bit of a pain in the backside. Okay, that's about it on airspace front. Operationally, we'll be on runway 27. We're not going to contemplate going on the short run with a good gliding day. We'll just have to put up with the crosswind. Jet movements, well, currently all we've got is a PA31 inbound at 12:10 local time and outbound at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, 1700 hours. So nothing really of major disruption. We'll be on the runway all day. Folks, when you want to go and fly, just come to the runway. Myself and Merv will be out there and we'll get you launched. We should have 3 or 4 tugs running around today. So should be a pretty good launch rate. And hopefully everybody have a good day. And I'll see you out there.